I'm happy about that one. All right, I'm doing all right, doing good. So I was making a video and I was going through my typical process and I thought I need to share this. This is a good process. It's not my process. I didn't come up with this. This is something that does not just apply to Comfy or image generation or AI in general. This is something you can do in your everyday life. Really anything you do. Anyways, for any of you out there who follow SpaceX, for example, whenever they were building the Starship, they would build, say, the first stage, and then they would launch it, blow it up, and then they would gather some data, and build another one, blow it up, launch it, crash it, launch it, lose it in the ocean, and then once they've done that 20 or 30 times, then they would build an official kind of intermediate stage. So they have several sub 1 revisions, like 0.01, 0.02, 0.03, and after like 50 of those, then they would have a version 1.0. The same principle can be used anywhere in life, and really, to my knowledge, this rapid prototyping concept, at least implemented in this way, in the SpaceX example, is really a software-minded approach, which I assume is largely due to Elon and other people in the company who have software backgrounds. They're used to this type of mindset, so they're applying that software mindset to manufacturing, which I really admire. I think that's great. The point is, you can use this concept in your everyday life, and specifically in the way that I want to talk about it in this video is applied to Comfy. Whenever I am trying to learn something new in Comfy, or even if I'm just trying to generate a very specific image, not really learning any new node or new model or anything like that, if I just want to generate a really specific image, what I'll do is a rapid prototyping type of approach to get the results that I want. And so I'll show you what I mean right here. So here you can see my beautiful Google Sheet. What I have done in generating the image for the thumbnail for this video that you're watching right now, this is the process that I did. In this sheet, each row is a run. So this is run number 1, run number 2, etc. I will make columns for each of the variables that I want to specifically pay attention to. Whenever I was generating this thumbnail, I wanted to pay attention to my query, key, and value parameters on my clip attention multiply, which I do have a video about that node coming in just a minute, but as I was making that video, I realized that I should share how I was doing that, and so that's how this video was born. So I was playing around with these values, and then I was playing around with the prompt. In some cases, the prompt will be the same, in some it'll be slightly different, and then this is what Sarge gave me from my prompt based on these clip attention multiply values. And then here is the output image. I'm not going to go through each one of these in detail, but you can kind of see my process. What I wanted was a photo of a futuristic cyberpunk rapid prototyping manufacturing facility with automated machinery controlled by AI. I wanted a massive, clearly visible neon sign that reads rapid prototyping, and then I also wanted a machine display or something like that that reads flow state. In my thumbnails in general, I like to have some kind of big sign that says whatever the title or the primary concept of the video is, and then somewhere smaller off to the side, I like to have my channel name in there somewhere, flow state. So this is what I wanted, and this is what I got from that first run. As you can see, it got the sign right, manufacturing facility, cyberpunk vibe, looks cool. And if you pay attention, you can see that this display right here does in fact say flow state, but it's not very prominently displayed. People aren't going to notice it in the thumbnail, so I wanted to correct that. We go on to run number 2, and these are my query, key, value, and output. Doesn't look like I changed the prompt on this one, and this is what I got. And then we go on to run number 3. These are my query, key, value, output, same prompt, similar results, slightly different, a little better, and that looks like it says pro state, flow state again, but not very visible. No flow state. This one, no flow state. This one actually says flow state. Okay, so we get a good result here. We can see what our query key value and output parameters were. And you can see that I also have changed the prompt here a little bit. I've learned that sometimes if you just repeat what you want in your prompt, then Sarge will make sure to emphasize it a little bit more. Here we actually get flow state that is fairly visible, but still pretty small. So front and center prominently displayed machine. And so this is what we get. From there, once I knew I had kind of a winner, I decided to keep the prompt the same and then play around with my clip attention node values. I like this one. Flow state's a little messed up. That one looks pretty good. Then we get this one here, which I like. Flow state. It's kind of a weird flow state, but it's a flow state, and I think that's the end of the run. Even in cases where the image is clearly wrong, I still will save it and put it into this sheet. You want to have your negative examples as well, so that way you can see these values and you can know, okay, maybe I don't want to use these values. Next time I'm trying to generate an image that has, this specific aesthetic or this specific type of text or whatever the case is that you're trying to generate, you can know, okay, well, this gave me bad results, so don't use these values for this type of prompt. And so I just wanted to make this video because whenever you're looking at Comfy, even on this basic workflow, you have your seed value, clip attention multiply values, all of the values in your sampler. Those are a lot of parameters to play around with. And whenever you're trying to do this effectively and get results that you want, and especially on larger workflows, you don't want to be shooting in the dark. You want to have a clear, direct path for where you want to go. And if you're just sitting here kind of tweaking values and hitting the Q button and tweaking values and hitting the Q button, you're not going to be able to remember all of these parameters every run you do. Whenever I was generating this thumbnail, I must have done 30, 40 runs. There's no way I'm going to remember all of those parameters for all 40 or so runs. You don't want to be shooting in the dark, and you also don't want to sit and wait on each run and then evaluate the image and then go and tweak some little parameters and then wait for the next run and then evaluate the image. It's much easier to just tweak some values, hit the Q button, tweak some values, hit the Q button, tweak some values, hit the Q button, and then you can just queue up a bunch of runs all with different parameters, and you don't have to remember any of them, and it will just keep running until the queue is empty. And each time it completes, all you have to do is save the image. And of course in Comfy, the images have the workflows embedded into them, so once you get through all of your runs and your queue is empty, then you can just simply drag each image back into Comfy, look at the values that were used for that image, and jot them down in your little Google Sheet. In that way you can go through a whole bunch of different runs with a whole bunch of different parameters, and then you can collect the results and analyze them all at once and figure out where to go from there. And not only is this much more effective of a strategy so you're not shooting in the dark, but it's also way faster because you're not just sitting there waiting on each individual run to happen and then manually inspecting each image between runs. It's much faster to just queue up a bunch of runs and let them all go until the queue's empty, and then you can analyze all the images at once. So by using this rapid prototyping approach, you can arrive at the results you want much more effectively and efficiently. And again, this isn't just something that applies to Comfy or AI in general. This is the exact same type of approach that I use for literally any new thing that I'm learning. And it's how I'm able to pick things up very quickly. For example, in many of my previous jobs, I've either gotten a significant raise or a promotion within 90 days by using this exact approach. So that's it. I just wanted to throw this technique out there. That way, this is something you can put into practice in your daily lives. And specifically with Comfy, whenever you're using this process, either to learn how to use a new node or to just get to the results you want more efficiently, this will be a huge help and a huge time saver. All right, that's going to wrap it up for this one. I just wanted to share this really quickly with you guys because this has been a huge help for me. So be sure to like and subscribe if you found this useful. And of course, share this with anyone you know who might find it useful as well. I'm going to get back to the clip attention multiply video, and I will see you guys on the next one. Take care.